Hey, what's going on? It's your boy King Gabe here. Just wanted to say, zoom. Okay, there we go. Just want to say a few things before we get into today's video. I know it was stated in a previous video to let you guys know that this was coming, that this was just going to be on EJS's channel, this review of Deadpool and Wolverine. But we actually started shooting with his laptop and with this camera at the same time, almost like studios having multiple cameras. And so we figured, after shooting and everything, like, let's just put it on both our channels. And I think it's probably going to be mentioned in the review, but I'm gonna say it here again. Chances are this could be the direction we might be going for the videos that we do together, him and me. Probably just upload it on both our channels for both of our followers, for people following both our channels there. So yeah, that's so that could be the direction that we're going. So yeah, this one, yeah, it's definitely on both channels. And also, just a fair warning, those of y'all that know the type of stuff I put on my channel, with my books and stuff like that, just letting y'all know that this was definitely a R-rated movie we're talking about here. So yeah, just letting y'all know that. So it's definitely more adult. Now, I'm not saying we're not swearing or anything like that. Yes, but the movie we're talking about, yeah, is pretty adult, R-rated, like I say. Yeah, do not go taking your kids to it. Please don't. So, yeah, it's for the adults, 18 and over. So, yeah. So, throwing that out there. So, let's get ready to get into the video, and make sure you definitely like, share, subscribe. Get some available books and everything, and also become a Patreon, just like who I'm about to start with, EJay the Supreme, Big Sis Casey, and Iceman Universe. Hang out with us on Discord and Facebook, and let's sell some stuff on the Mercari app. Now let's enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine and what we think about it.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy E from the EJS channel, and
Wade Wilson is Deadpool, and it is such an honor to be out here, EJ. I mean, and also the fact that Marvel is casting an African American to play me. Isn't that just great?
And I'm also the first African American Wolverine. You can call me Afro-Reen.
Oh yes. Well, these dudes say Marvel needs to be saved right now. So,
yeah.
So that is one way to do it.
Hey, who better to save it than the brother man instead of the other man?
So today, Wolverine will be portrayed by EJay the Supreme, and Deadpool by King Gabe.
Yay. Yes, indeed, man. So, what do you think we should get started with, Gabe? What do you think, man?
Well, let's see. Let's start with the beginning.
Beginning?
That's as usually the place to go is the beginning there.
Let's see the beginning. Well, man, why don't you go first? Starting at the beginning of the movie, just where you want to just go with this with the.
Okay. First, but much like that scene when Deadpool and Wolverine had to get something to eat, might need a little something to
get something in the belly a little bit. So yes, indeed. So you got the plates. We got the. Here you go, man. Oh, I think you said two of them, one or two.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
You got it. All right. There you go. And then get the paper towels put on there.
All right.
Let's see.
How many?
There you go. Gotta use adamantium strength. All right. And of course, if you want to get one, there you go.
We do have an actor for Vanessa, but apparently scheduling, we did have some conflicts with the studio and everything, so couldn't really get her on the screen.
Yeah, we really good. Yeah.
You know how those studios are. They are so complicated.
Very, very, very complicated. And it looks so complicated. You're actually watching dual action. You see, speaking of multiverse, two universes at one time. So if you see my head going this way and my head going this way, do, because it's two.
Yeah, man. We got two cameras here.
It actually worked out perfectly with that, especially with the storyline. Once we really get into it, man. So that'll be just perfect.
Oh yes.
Yes, indeed. So let's see right here. Speaking of that, see what you want to have. Since we have two universes, we got two different pizzas. Two different pizzas right here. And so, what is your universe display? What's your universe's favorite pizza?
Definitely the cheese.
It's definitely cheese.
Just like McAllister.
Well, we're going to talk about my universe's favorite pizza. Mine is a heck of a lot more unorthodox because I have a barbecue chicken with jalapeno pizza. So I know it's a little bit more spicy. I was like, uh-oh. And so, I'm guessing, yeah, the missus would definitely want the chicken with plain cheese.
Yeah, that's part of the studio complications there.
And studio complications, man. The dreaded studio.
Yeah, well, after all, Deadpool and Vanessa were having some problems in the movie. but they did work on them.
And they did work on them. That indeed they did do. So where do you want? So you want to start from the beginning, Gabe? So just the beginning of the movie, the intro. Your judge, your rating on the intro of the movie.
Intro actually, I think was actually really good because. If any of y'all seen the first Deadpool, there's a lot of callbacks to the first Deadpool and a little bit of the second, but they did a lot more to the first movie. The intro, like he's all the TVA, and of course, Deadpool got to do something crazy, which means in sync. Doing that, it's sort of thinking about that. It made me think of the first movie when he was up against all those guys looking for Francis.
Yep.
And then after the intro, let me tell you where it all started.
I would say about the intro. I'll be honest, because I haven't fully watched. You know how you get glimpses of pieces of movies, so like the first and second Deadpool. Not too familiar with those, but when I did hear the NSYNC music in the beginning, I'm gonna tell you, it really took me back to much further back. All the X-Men fans in the Fox era X-Men fans. X-Men 2, X-Men United. That's what it reminds me of because when and correct me if I'm wrong, X-Men fans, but I definitely remember in the scene where the remaining mutants that recovered that actually escaped the attack that was going on, Professor Xavier.
I think I'm starting.
Yeah.
They were listening to NSYNC.
When they turned on the car, Wolverine was driving, and you hear "Hey, bye, and then he had to cut it off because it was blaring. So that's where I got that call back. So as you said, you had the call back from the Deadpool series. That was a little bit of a callback that I remember.
Yeah, so, I do remember. I didn't think about that when I was watching the movie, but yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, my focus was on Deadpool at that moment, but yeah.
but it's kind of one thing about the movie that I really like. Is what we're probably going to talk about in this video. It's a lot of fanfare, which is a great thing, especially with the criticism that Marvel has been getting lately. It needed a fanfare movie. It needed that summer action comedy where you just turn your brain off, have fun, just get wild, get crazy, get lewd, get just animated, just completely just there. It accomplished the mission of what it was supposed to do, and it was supposed to be a fun action movie of the summer. So just that opening scene, as gory and vicious as the scene, talk about the blood and the creative ways to kill somebody.
Yeah,
or say hurt somebody.
Especially the way he, because I know, because I actually, funny story, I looked at that intro was actually leaked on YouTube. Somebody put it up there before I saw the movie. I just didn't say nothing until I saw the movie. But they, I actually looked at it and had the instinct things, and I did not. I saw some of it, but then I paid more attention to it at the movie. Deadpool told the TVA he was not going to use his weapons. Instead, he used Wolverine's bones,
which is very creative.
And there's a funny thing about that. He told you remember in the first remember in the first movie, he didn't because they were on a budget, so he said, "I only got 9 bullets in here, so y'all have to share. Let's count them down." He counted the bones in the human body, and used each bone as a weapon. And now I know where he got those claws from because he literally slipped on Wolverine's hand bones to make the claws come out.
Right. That was super duper creative. And also, by the way, the K word that I use, because we know how the censorship is, so we're going to do what Power Rangers say: destroy people.
Oh yeah.
Jensen, I think about that. So
before the 30th anniversary.
Before 30th anniversary. That's right. So, just that intro was amazing. Shoot, there's so many places, there's so many ways I can just go as far as talking about the movie. We want to talk about the different universes that Deadpool had to go to find the Wolverine he was looking for. So all the comic book tributes, the different covers, I'll be honest with you, I don't know all the comic scenes by heart, but I do remember the Wolverine crucifixion. I do remember Wolverine in the brown attire.
Right, you bought the whole.
Yeah, biker Wolverine, old man Wolverine, which I think with biker Wolverine we'll start talking about cameos a little bit later. The legendary cameos in this flick. What do you want to talk about next after that, Gabe?
Well, after he did all with the bones and stuff, bones. Surprising he didn't sing the Bones song at any point, but
I'm surprised.
We actually found out that he's actually trying to join the Avengers now. Some people might wonder, well, how did he just? I mean, we know he's gonna multiverse hop, but how did he just that quick get there? Second movie, remember he had stole Cable's device, and he was time hopping, but I'm pretty sure there was a way on that device that made it where he could dimension hop too. I mean, otherwise that's how he got in trouble with the TVA.
Right.
But yeah, that's how he was. That's how he came up and I think it may. This is a theory. I think it may have been more than just Cable's device. It may have also been some of the events that was happening in the MCU with that snap, the Infinity Stones, and all that.
Right.
And then let's not forget TBA's involved. TBA, they talk about, well, we trying to keep the sacred timeline, keep everything in order. You guys are kind of causing some trouble too. There,
right.
Yeah, you getting on other people's case, but y'all kind of causing some stuff too.
Right.
So they could be screwing some stuff up. The TBA.
Right.
Within the universe.
Exactly. And I would say after that, then there's a very comedic scene where Deadpool, he puts on his suit, and I tell you the tailor for that suit, the lawsuits that will come from that, just from working with that guy, the comedic timing. I've talked about the comedic timing of this movie is just
it just flows.
It flows, and I'm gonna just be saying it right now. It is not the most politically correct movie. It's by no means the most politically correct. I was laughing in the theater when I was watching. I was like, oh, and I kind of looked. I'm like, okay,
you know, if you're watching a Deadpool movie, there's gonna be some dirty humor.
It's gonna be some dirty humor, and
as Woody say in Toy Story, the word I'm looking for, I can't use because they're preschool toys present.
No, exactly.
Getting kind of dense, aren't you?
No, exactly. It was the comedy is 100% is blatant, is uncouth, as Ryan Reynolds always is. He is a master of being an action hero with that snappy, witty comedy. That's why he's the big star that he is. He does that in almost every movie he's in now.
Oh yes, and he even in the movies that was for kids, like Detective Pikachu, he did a good job.
He did a good job
because he actually he wanted to be in that movie and he had his heart into that, just like Deadpool.
Exactly. And so, speaking of the comedy, and then we'll talk about the cameos and multiverse and everything. So speaking of the comedy, we have to kind of mention the cameo a little bit. The actor Chris Evans and his contribution to this movie is completely hilarious, as well as in certain ways shocking. I say shocking for me. It might not be for everybody, but shocking on how it would turn out for his character. But by the end of it, it was. I kind of knew where they were going the second I saw him on the screen, because when we see Chris Evans, we automatically think Captain America.
I think that's what they were trying to
play.
See. Well, why isn't he the Human Torch anymore? This is why.
This is why. And so when I saw him on the screen, I'm like, okay, I know he played Captain America, but I also know the other character he played. I went back 2005. I'm like, he's not wearing the Captain America attire. It's blue, but I'm like, oh yeah. They finna do. If somebody's not really paying attention or they didn't watch superhero movies before the 2010s, they were like, well, who's this character? It's the Human Torch. Us superhero fans of the early 2000s, 2005 Fantastic Four, 2005, 2006, around that time. Human Torch era. So the comedy in his cameo with Deadpool and Wolverine, sharp, witty, as well as just off the wall, just uncouth, just real raunchy. Like it really, because I haven't watched too many like the Deadpool series. Just watching that type of style of comedy is just real. You're starting to see the turn of the tide with a lot of films.
Right? Yeah, they some of them are trying to get more edgy and dark than they've been in the and like I say, personally, how I feel, I kind of like, I'm kind of like I was talking with somebody, one of my coworkers, was I remember I mentioned to her about this about one of Bow Wow's song Basketball, and he was like, "Wow, I didn't know you was into stuff like that." I said, "Well, I like a variety of stuff." See, my thing, I do now, I like a lot of the kiddie stuff. Don't get me wrong, but hey, I can dabble into some of the other. It all. The thing that is with me is what kind of story are you telling?
That's right.
So that's what would draw me. Now, I mean, if you got a good story going on, even with someone like Deadpool, yeah, I'll sit through it.
Yeah,
and see what's going on.
So all the Marvel fans, forgive me because I don't know all the characters in the comic book lore, but the villain in the story, Cassandra Nova, and just discovering who she is. Excuse me, got food in my mouth. Cassandra Nova, and just discovering who she is. I am more of a video game fan than Marvel, and she gave me a lot of comparisons of Chronica from Mortal Kombat 11 because she has the bald head, and she can manipulate, using her mind. Of course, Chronica was a time, controlling time and dimensions was her thing. So, and which is going to tie in later when we really talk about multiverses, because Mortal Kombat has done the same thing with multiverses like Marvel is doing right now. So seeing Cassandra Nova and really discovering her character was really, interesting, and she was a good villain in the story for me. Really good villain, witty. When I looked at the comic after I discovered who she was looked like she was a lot older in the comic than she is in the actress that played her. Which they made a good decision to make her younger, because it kind of gives like a chance for us to really discover her a lot more, kind of going more in depth, because there's so many characters in the comic book realm. So I would say I'm between novice and intermediate. But if we play X-Men '97 and the X-Men TV series in the '90s, okay, that's a whole other thing. Now I can debate you on some stuff. But after that, Gabe, you want to talk about the cameos? You want to just go straight to the cameos, man? Because that's the part I'm just
the cameo. Okay. Well, I tell you, it was quite a bit of interesting ones.
Chris Evans, of course, being first.
Yes, human, and it was funny how they make us. Cause we was, I think, when we went to see it, she was thinking like first, the same thing as Deadpool even called out Captain America, and just when you're about to speak, Deadpool was like, sorry about that.
Hey, we eating it, as you see.
We eating like Wolverine and Deadpool.
That's it. That's it.
But they wish they had this pizza.
They wish they did.
Yeah, but the funny thing, he says Avengers. It's Avengers play on. Deadpool's like, what?
Exactly. That was a good psych out, and I was like, I know this is finna. I didn't say I knew it, but I'm like, okay, he's gonna think Captain America, and I'm gonna think Human Torch. Just like anybody that watched Marvel Avengers era is going to think Human Torch.
And I think that was kind of a little joke of, as Cinema Sins would say, Deadpool would be great at Cinema Sins.
Yes. So with there is the Chris Evans cameo. Speaking of that, I was talking about earlier, Wolverine in the different dimensions, the different universes of
Henry
Wolverine.
Cavill, yes.
The Cavalry. I remember. Oh, you want to go ahead?
I think they're hinting at him being Wolverine for the MCU.
Make the man Wolverine. I'm gonna say this here because I'm a Henry Cavill fan. Great Superman. Could have been even a better Superman if the studio would actually have continued the series and had a Man of Steel 2.
Right.
My pick for James Bond. When Daniel Craig mentioned Idris Elba, and if Idris Elba wasn't gonna be the first black James Bond, then personally, in my opinion, Henry Cavill should be the next James Bond. But right now, it looks like it's kind of shaky on that. He's rumored, or not rumored, but I think he signed on to be in Highlander. But at any rate, going back to Henry Cavill being Wolverine, I did hear rumors a while back that they were thinking about making him Wolverine. And I'm all for it, man. Go on, make the man Wolverine. Like, you done teased it now. Get this guy to be Wolverine. It's money.
And I definitely, and then amongst all the Wolverine, I definitely like when they did the small reference of him and Hulk.
Hulk, yeah.
He's like, wait, didn't you fight the Hulk in this?
And
he looks up and I am Marvel Jesus, you can't defeat me. You
boom, exactly.
She was trying to imitate Loki.
Exactly. And you see scenes like that. And then I'm trying to think, let's see, what was another one? Because I want to save the biggest cameo for last. I want to talk about the smaller cameos.
Okay, we had X-23.
Yeah, X-23. X-Men, the year 2000 X-Men, Sabretooth and Toad.
Oh, yes.
That
was probably, I was like, when I saw that in the trailer, I was like, oh, yeah.
I was so excited because and Pyro was in there as well. This was the good thing about that, and it's spoiler alert to anybody because I know we're kind of just going off the cuff with it, kind of like Deadpool's comedy and Wolverine's temper, going off cuff with it. Pyro, Toad, and Sabretooth, and of course Pyro. Human Torch should know better than to mess with Pyro when it comes to fire. Come on, man.
He's gonna absorb your attack.
He's gonna absorb you. That's like somebody come after Sebastian Shaw.
Or better yet, like somebody sending a Charmeleon against an Arcanine.
Yeah. Like, come on, dude, really? But anyways, I was so excited to see the original Sabretooth. I believe the actor is Tyler Mane. He was a character, I believe, Nitron in WCW. If you look up early 90s, he was, I think, the bodyguard of Woman, which was Nancy Sullivan. Or Nancy Benoit, which that's a whole other story we're not going to get into. The last name Benoit. But at any rate, but she was one of my favorite valets, but I digress. He was Nitron in WCW, and then of course you had Toad. Well, it was great to see Toad come back. Last time we saw him, Storm electrocuted him out the building.
Oh yeah.
And then Pyro from X-Men 2. So it was great to see those cameos come in, even though they were not as long as I personally wanted them to be. It was still great to see them.
And I will say that they did. Now I don't know if everybody would agree with this, but I think they actually made a really good reason of why we don't, why all of a sudden, like Elektra, for example, that other cameo.
Exactly.
Why all of a sudden they show him and now we don't hear nothing about her.
Yeah.
Apparently, now of course, studio, because they just move on to the next thing. But in universe, the TVA could be just popping up whenever that movie came out and just, okay, your universe is gone. Yep. Your universe is gone.
Exactly. It was great to see. It was great to see Jennifer Garner. Remember, on the actress named Jennifer Garner to play Elektra. I was so excited to see it because I remember watching it back in the day. It was nice to see Daredevil, but who knows? Because DC dropped the ball on Ben Affleck as well. I mean, you think about it, they got options now. These actors have options. Another cameo. We got to talk about the home state favorite,
Gambit.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna make a name for myself. Oh man, when I saw it,
I think he was, because I think isn't that the because it's been a while since I've seen it, but isn't that the way Gambit in the cartoon talk?
Yes. My favorite Gambit quote, and actually X-Men '97 reference it. The name is Gambit. Remember it. And Gambit and I have the old school Sega Genesis X-Men video game, and with that, you know, in the booklet you have the biographies of the characters. This is where I found out Gambit is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which when I found that out, he was one of my favorite X-Men just because home state.
Down from the south.
Down from the south. All we need is a Shreveport mutant, and that's it. No, we need a Shreveport mutant, and we'd be good to go. Channing Tatum plays Gambit. Absolutely. I didn't think he was gonna be that funny as Gambit. I think if anything, it was still kind of like a play on word, kind of play on the character of Gambit. He didn't take it too seriously, because when you're trying to imitate a Cajun drawl, you know.
Oh, it could now. This is just an assumption, but it could be because I know they trying to share time with all of them there, so it could be maybe what they gave him to work with may have been a little difficult there.
Right.
Sometimes they can have a little difficulty with certain material, but they do be
working. But even with that, it was. With his role, did the job it needed to. The cameo to finally see Gambit on the screen and accurately be depicted. Not just a cameo like from the former Wolverine series, which I wish they would have showcased the Gambit in the Wolverine movie a lot more. You probably heard it in the drawl and the accent of the character.
Oh, Wolverine Origins, what you?
No, it was Origins or the Wolverine. Yeah, Origins. It was Origins.
Because I know he was in Origins.
Origins. So he was Origins.
They showed him briefly in there.
Yeah, that was in Origins. So just real briefly in. It's kind of like, if you didn't really pay attention, you wouldn't have known.
Right.
You really wouldn't have known. And then let's see what other, because I want to save the biggest cameo for last. I think we've gotten every other.
Let's see. Okay, now X-23, Elektra, Gambit, and
is it the big one?
I think is Blade the one?
That's it, Blade. We got
Wesley Snipes.
We gotta talk about when I saw Wesley Snipes. I hollered. I said, "Yeah, get the OG back in there." That's why, because if it wasn't for Blade, your superhero movies would not be
as serious as
they would not be
good.
And serious and good. That's Blade had the dark tone to make a superhero look legitimate. Before then, every superhero, just like now, would be in the colorful attires. You know, Superman, Batman being in colorful clothes, but they weren't taken seriously. Of course, you know, throughout the '90s, we had the George Clooney, Val Kilmer, Batman.
Because they not as dark as Blade, but they would try that, like Tim Burton, first two Batman movies. But the minute they tried, it was like, we can't sell any McDonald's Happy Toys. You scaring the kids.
Scaring the kids, yeah, exactly. And that was a different day and time. Of course, now, post, of course, well, we have to talk about the early 2000s as well. X-Men had the all-black suits, and you couldn't tell the suits apart.
Oh my lord!
And
now don't get me wrong, I do like those first X movies, but that would have been really nice if they could have had their costumes.
If anything, if they were going to be all black, the suits should have been more definitive. They should have been more unique. So
where we could tell each one apart.
So like for Wolverine, I know he had like the red outline in his black suit. Cyclops had the blue, of course. Storm had the white. But I think the only character that probably should have, if anything, the design could have been, they still could have the full-blown suits, but just more diverse in appeal.
Kind of like the Avengers.
But I know what they were doing though. They were trying to make the X-Men and the superhero genre look more serious. That's like, okay, Spider-Man a couple years later. His webs were more of a 3D kind of metallic. They weren't just like the one dimension.
Right.
It was more like more detail in the suit, which I thought was always a clean look as well. I'm not gonna knock it, but you know,
yeah, Spider-Man actually did. They did Spider-Man really well.
They really did. They took 2002 Spider-Man.
I think I don't think you really I think you would have to really try hard to mess that up.
You really would. You can't, when you're doing like a comic book or video game or toy adaptation or childhood kid show adaptation. You really have to respect the source material in order to really flex out and be like, okay, we've seen the source material, now let's continue to respect that material while at the same time show, put our expression.
Right, put our own take on it too.
Exactly. And so we talk about like the biggest cameo, Blade, to see Blade, we're going back to Blade with it. To see Blade on the screen again, and shout out. I heard through one of the blogs, Ryan Rose wants Wesley to play Blade again, which I'm like, yes,
Okay.
yes, make that man Blade again. Especially what I'm hearing about with production. And now I'm gonna know you're gonna know more about the lore of Blade. His title is a little bit different. They say he's the Lord of the Vampires.
I think he's. I know from what I've heard of his backstory, he sort of remember like Raven from Teen Titans, how she had Trigon and her mother was human and all that. With Blade, it was like a vampire and his human mother. And I think she was as they say she was raped there. I'm just come on and say she was raped. Yeah.
Or the R word. We gotta we gotta censor it. You know how YouTube is, man. But but I get what you're saying. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. But now we've talked about the cameos. Rating this movie, and then we could talk about multiverses as well after this. Rating this movie, man, where do you consider it? Like if you want to rate it towards the fun value, storyline value, cameo rate, which 10 out of 10 with cameos, obviously. But
let's see, with the movie, just the movie itself, I would say in a 10 out of 10, I was like 1 to 10. I would say I would give it at least just for what it delivered. I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10 there.
Yeah.
Basically, and I actually, this is something I kind of thought of. You actually could, just say you ain't watched the other 2 Deadpool movies and you just pop into this movie theater to see it. You could actually watch this without seeing the other Deadpool movies.
That's a good thing for me because I've watched bits and pieces, like when they showed on TV or on streaming, and my fault on it, y'all. At the same time, kind of my movie going experience, the superhero genre in the studios have really burned me. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. The news reports can tell you a lot of people have been getting burned from just movies, whether it's ticket prices or the studios are creatively clashing with the audience. So you kind of get that burnout. But then when I heard the buzz about Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm like, all right, let's give it a shot. So it was great to see something fun again. And for me, I know you were saying 9 out of 10. I'll say the same thing, like a 9 out of 10. Fun factor, the constant breaking of the fourth wall. I mean, it was that. It's not taking itself so seriously. It's just like in your face. Deadpool is here. Wolverine is here. We gonna have fun. We gonna kick butt.
And the good thing about it, while you're having fun, you can still feel for the characters too, because they got even though they're joking and goofing around, they still get, because a lot of times they say humor comes from tragedy.
That's true. It's that dark humor that the coincidences of how the characters just whatever everything they just go through makes me think about Wolverine in the car or in the van with Deadpool
when they were fighting
that fight scene.
Oh my goodness.
The blood, the gore, and the shout out to both actors as well as the stunt team, stunt coordinators, and whoever just laid out that scene, put that together. I mean, you have to be very talented to put a fight scene together in such a small interior. Wide space is one thing. When you're in a big building with different levels is one thing. But to make a fight scene literally in a minivan and have it action packed, and I don't believe there's any music with that.
And I think that if you listen really closely, there is I forget what that song is, but you hear the woo woo woo.
Yeah. Because I do remember it was like a silent period of them going back and forth, and then the music coming
in and out of the car and everything.
Yeah, the music selection, by the way, just from NSYNC to I believe the band was Goo Goo Dolls, and so many different musical references. Of course, it's, in today's time now, the studios don't mind using popular songs to help fill out a scene. But I rate the movie 9 out of 10. Action scenes 10 out of 10. Great job. Comedy out of this world. I almost put 11 out of 10 just for being gutsy enough to say some of the comedy they said.
Oh yes.
And I would say storyline wise, there would be a little bit. Now this is just me. It took a little while to kind of follow everything because I have to watch it again.
Oh,
again.
yeah.
So like more my fault, but I'll give it more like 7.5 out of 10, 8 out of 10. But that's also because I'm not the biggest comic book diehard. Like I haven't seen all the comics to just say, oh, I know this, that, and the third. Now I've watched the cartoons. I've read some of the comics. I've done research on certain characters, so I'll know certain tidbits, this, that, and the third. So shout out to the more advanced,
That would probably know some of the stuff in there.
yeah. So you schooled me on it. Hey, I don't mind, but
Yeah, leave it in the comment section.
leave it in the comment section. We're giving y'all opening. Leave it in the comment section. Both universes. Leave it in the comment section.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. So.
But yeah, they definitely did. But yeah, it definitely was a really good job. And then of course, forgot to mention, which I think I sent to you, the small cameos of Deadpool's family.
Yes.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds' family.
I'm glad you said that. What's it? Lady Pool, Dog
Was his
Pool.
wife.
This is why Blake Lively. That was shout out to her. And you had Dog Pool, which I have my pooch in here in the living room. She laid out and everything. I'm surprised she ain't snoring yet. She probably like, Daddy, why won't let me out the cage? And I can't let you out the cage, puppy. But shout out to Sweet May Puppy. Anyways, yeah, Blake Lively as Lady Pool. He had Dog Pool. And was it how many children he has? 2 or 3?
I think it was. I know there was Baby Pool, Kid Pool, and then I think one other. So I think 3 were shown in. I don't know if he got more, but 3 were shown in that they pointed out.
And I believe Nathan Fillion was it Head Pool? These are the skeleton.
So he was doing a voiceover.
They're doing a voiceover of the skeleton.
You know what would have been funny about that?
What would have been?
Just imagine if Gilbert Gottfried was alive and did the voice of that head.
Oh my goodness, that would I can hear that right now. That would have been amazing.
All right, Deadpool, let's get us.
See, that would have been epic because you would automatically know it had been him. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, that would have. God rest his soul, but that would have been kind of funny to hear him in a movie like that.
That would have been epic. Everybody would have been laughing because it fits the tone of the movie. It fits the tone of the movie. But
and did you get kind of a video game vibe when they was going through all the Deadpool variants?
Yes, yeah. The side scroll beat 'em up. I was looking at that, and it was making me think. Shout out to the '90s kids and 2000s kids who played these games. Streets of Rage, the X-Men, Sega Genesis games, the X-Men game, the X-Men Clone Wars. Shout out to all the Final Fight fans and things of that nature. The Power Ranger video game fans.
Oh yeah,
going from town to town and going from one side to the other side, scroll beat 'em up type games. Of the Rolling Thunders or the Sonic, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog, of course.
Oh yeah.
But any 2D side scroller
and Mario Brothers.
Exactly. Of course, Mario was there before so many of them. So, but yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody on YouTube took that scene and dubbed it with the Mario music.
You know what? It would go viral. Everybody would be using it. Everybody would be using it. So, 2 more topics and then we'll end the game. Storytelling, multiverse storytelling. And then the future of Marvel or the superhero franchise as a whole.
Okay.
So, multiverse storytelling. I've noticed because I mentioned Mortal Kombat, and I've mentioned you and me have mentioned different other forms of lore. So, Marvel Universe, of course, ever since Endgame, if you know that, ever since Endgame has brought in this multiverse set of storytelling.
Right.
Marvel has done it. DC look like they're starting to tamper with it. The Mortal Kombat video game series has done that with Mortal Kombat 11 and now Mortal Kombat 1. Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, I think even you mentioned about a Power Rangers
multiverse, which they've already kind of done that because shout out to Power Rangers SPD fans. 2025 will actually be next year. So how are they gonna do that? And we have every God, thank God. Every cast member, or at least main cast member of the team, still here.
Right.
What will be done, you know. But so many different lores. Even I will even say, as a wrestling fan, even in the wrestling world, we see WWE, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor mention each other. So it's somewhat of a multiverse-esque type of situation. How do you feel, Gabe, your professional opinion about multiverse storytelling in general? Like even James Bond was pre-multiverse because you have how many James Bonds have we seen?
Oh Lord.
You know, so it's kind of.
I would think it is. It's actually a good way to come, like especially because I mean you think about a lot of like Marvel and DC. You know, a lot of their stuff started in the early years. DC started way before Marvel because they just started with Superman in Action Comics.
That's right.
You know, he was just you know doing simple things like lifting the cars and stopping bank robbers. Then they started adding more and more to them, and you had Batman, and it went on. Then you started every year they would do some type of remake of these heroes. So the multiverse actually at this point, because they built up so many versions of these characters, actually makes a lot of sense. Now, as far as like as far as storytelling, now, yeah, if you write it cleverly,
right,
it can work. Cause like I say, that's why it's so important to know the source material. So you just like how they had all the different Wolverines and stuff.
Right, absolutely.
And you take like even myself now. Now, of course, my stuff don't go back as far as what DC did.
Of course.
But you take like even just like Star Striker. Since 2004, when I first started watching Static Shock, I made Star Striker. That version was a teenager. I imagine him kind of talking like Static. Then I kind of remade him a few times. Then a few years later, after doing some other things, did it once again. The teenager. Then Heroes of Dream came, and it's like, okay, I'll make him a kid. So now you got all these different kid versions of Star Striker leading up to Yumiko. So yeah, even with my, like I say, it doesn't go back as far as DC, but even my stuff creates a because anytime you're writing a story, any person who's writing a story, if you are doing it for a long time, your chances are you're going to remake something. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I wrote Heroes of Dreams, I thought like, no, this is going to be it. I ain't going to remake it again. No, it's just going to be the universe. Well, going to the years later. Now, what were you saying, Gabe?
You're right.
So, yeah, I see now why. Yeah, because like I say, even I became a victim of remaking my stuff.
I agree, and I'm gonna say this here. I haven't released any creative material storytelling wise yet, but I will soon. Stay tuned. But I will say, of course, I'm on the screen right now. Something dealing with wrestling. For years, I've created wrestling characters on video games, and I literally like how you remember your stories and your characters since childhood. Same with mine. I have wrestlers really since the year 2000, or technically 1999, that I remember and have documented all the way up till now. So I have created multiple fictional wrestling companies with different acronyms, and have created different characters. And sometimes I split those characters, or combine characters, and made them brand spanking new, or interlock certain storylines and gave them history. I literally off the dome, I know about two wrestlers where it was like a wedding angle where one wrestler literally ripped off another wrestler and ended up getting them in prison. And then that following year at that fictional company's WrestleMania, of course not WrestleMania, but technically my fictional company's biggest show of them all, they have a street fight and sell it based on a hardcore match. I know what my character will technically be on the show. I know a Canadian character that'd be one of the top guys, the World Heavyweight Champion, Women's Champion, Tag Team Champions, and I've remade and redone the timeline so many times. So I could say that's like my testimony to multiverse storytelling. And so the last thing, Gabe, and then we'll end it here. The future of cinematic universes, the future of Marvel, DC, superheroes, whether it be Deadpool, Wolverine, where do you see, or Doctor Doom now as Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, David Cornswet as the new Superman, James Gunn vision for the Justice League. Where do you see, what do you think the future holds?
Honestly, I put it this way, I'm not completely sure, but I do know what I would hope for my main thing with anything, whether it's a shared universe storyline or if it's just standalone, either way, my thing, I just want to enjoy good story, good stories in general.
Yeah.
When I go to see other people's work and stuff like that.
Right.
But where I think it could possibly go, honestly, with Marvel, because they have not stopped to reboot it yet. They sort of have in universe. Seem like, I think what's going to happen with Marvel, I think they're gonna like we saw the Void and all that. They're trying to connect previous stuff before the MCU, like they were here all the time, and pretty much do it kind of like that, thanks to the TVA and stuff. DC, I'm not completely sure if they do, because like I said, they are starting to. I know the Flash movie did acknowledge the multiverse, but I'm not completely sure exactly. They seem like they have a different take than Marvel does. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it does. But with DC, like I said, there's a lot of, because I grew up with DC before the MCU. But like I say, it can currently be a little confusing. As far as like trying to figure out what it, especially what I hear with James Gunn. I don't doubt that he'll make. I'm pretty sure he'll make some good movies. I would definitely want to check them out. But I just have a question mark as far as where it's going. So yeah, it would be kind of a mystery, and also, and I sort of like I say again, don't want them to copy each other, but you kind of would want some kind of path to build up to. Just like, the first phase of Marvel, they had the Infinity Stones. Now, they may possibly have something they're building up to, but see, the thing is, they've introduced so many characters, which, like I say, it's good to see these characters, but there's so many of them. That's where the fatigue is coming from. It's not that they're it's not that all the movies are bad. It's just it's so many to follow, and sometimes it makes it. And yeah, that's what kind of would make it hard. And I think maybe it's possible these now I don't know, maybe James Gunn might maybe it might not be difficult for him, but from this point of view as of now, that's what it seemed like. DC might be having a little trouble with getting a direction there, because remember they got twice as much as Marvel to try to follow.
Right. Well, I'll say my opinion of the future of like comic book movies, superhero movies, it has been a burnout lately. A lot of people, and I'm going to do this here since we are on this autumn, movies out the way, but I would say now the audience is going to have to get used to a lot more diverse storytelling when it comes to comic book movies.
Right.
But not wokeism. I think that's one of the biggest things that have turned off people.
Yeah, I think then you take that out.
Is wokeism, and that's what's really turned me off with a lot of cinematic storytelling. But see, when you see something like Wolverine and Deadpool, it's drawing an audience back, and them seeing that money. It's like, this is what we want to see. We don't want to see political messages. We want to go back.
Just tell the story about fictional characters.
About fictional characters. And so now I'm thinking what's going to happen. You're going to start seeing that more and more. My biggest thing, I'm really waiting to see what Marvel's going to do with Doctor Doom, with Robert Downey Jr. coming back.
And don't forget the X-Men.
And the X-Men. Those are two critical properties that's going to determine the future of superhero films. And James Gunn's interpretation of Superman, which I'm kind of already just by the suit, not the actor, not by the storyline, just the suit. But I will also say I don't want superhero genre movies to die. I don't want them to go down.
Just want them to be good.
Just want them to be good. Now I think the wave of it dominating the box office and everybody wanting to see it, I think that is really like gone per se. But I think now it will, I guess, say level off. Like, people want more diversity with their entertainment, whether it's suspense, drama, action, horror, thrillers, romance, biblical, etc. But they still want that superhero movie. They're not just excluding it. So
They just want to. Yeah, sometimes they want to break.
They want to break with it, and that's my biggest thing. They want to break. They want diversity. They want and not the diversity that everybody talk about, like the agenda diversity, as they say. And I'm not a political activist, nothing like that, but diversity as far as the style of storytelling. Yeah, style of storytelling in movies.
Yeah.
So, but that's my opinion on it, Gabe. If you have any other things, anything you want to say before we wrap it up for the night?
Yeah. Well, I think that's be pretty good. Like I said, I mean, there will be a few things, but yeah, we might be here all night if I say anything. If we go on any longer, yeah, we'd be here all night.
Man,
we'd be made another movie.
Look, and speaking of that, that's one. Well, just stay tuned. I'm not gonna say it. Just stay tuned. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
The geniuses got to keep their mouth closed.
So that, yeah, well, we don't want to be like some of them actors leaking stuff there.
Exactly, because what they say, loose lips sink ships. So you got two creatives right here. We can't tell you everything we know. We got to surprise you, and then just show you what we got in the works. We're not gonna tell you. We're gonna show you when that time comes. So.
Yep. Well. Yeah. That's definitely. I think we could wrap it up. Thanks for having me here on the EGS.
Absolutely. And so y'all know me as E, and I'm working on, y'all know me with different names. EJay, EJS, Edwin, Josh. That's how y'all know me. Some people know me as Mr. Sherman. Either way, you're on the EJS channel. Also, y'all can go to my Instagram page, Edwin Sherman 2293, and of course you look me up on Facebook, just Edwin Sherman. You probably see Josh under there. And I got some projects in the works, so y'all stay tuned. And Gabe.
And if because since we got the two cameras here, yeah, it will also be you're probably some of y'all may be seeing this on my channel, but yeah, it's definitely a EJS thing here.
EJS thing, as well as a King Gabe thing going on. It's two different universes.
I think that's probably that's what I'm kind of thinking from what we're doing here. That now this just all depends on future videos. But as of now, you may be seeing whenever we do crossover, it being on both channels.
On both channels,
you just might be seeing that.
Might be so. You see, you're already getting double universes at one time. So we are following the trope of the multiverse. Of the multiverse. So we got this, man. We gonna rock the house with it. So hey,
and I already got multiverse memes at home in Office Depot.
Hey, that's it. That's it. But if you want to, so what, Gabe? What you got in the works, man? Then we'll be on out. Let everybody know.
I do have, like I said, I know Yumiko 1 is out. Yumiko 2, y'all can definitely put in, or I will be ordering some next week. So yeah, definitely put your orders in for that. Pre-order that. And of course the third one will be out before the holidays. Yeah, all right. Yeah, it will be out before the holidays, which of course be the likeness of your boy over here. And Star Striker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So if nothing else, Gabe,
that's pretty much what's coming. And
yeah,
make sure y'all definitely subscribe to both the channels, and don't forget to also hit up my Patreon there.
That's it. Be sure to hit up that Patreon, like and subscribe, and also hit that bell icon for both of our channels, so that way you will always be notified whenever we come out with some new content, y'all. So the best is yet to come. I am EJS, also known as EJ the Supreme, also known as Josh, and he is
Gabriel King Gabe Johnson.
That's it. And we are out. I put out the Wolverine, the invisible Wolverine claw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And y'all even say I got gloves on.
Yeah, that's it. I don't have my gloves, but I'm Wolverine without the gloves. And just imagine like some silver things. Or if I had some like pencils or something, just well, it'll work either way. That's it. And we are out.
Peace.